Let me know if you're able to see my screen. We'll start with the discussion.
Yes.
Okay. So today we'll see what are the different coding standards in programming. So let us just I just list out what are all available. One by one we'll see coding standards. So first one should be the naming conventions. Okay. So naming conventions either for my programs, my smart forms, any object in my SAP G will be given a set of naming conventions document from that project level. So every project will have their own naming conventions. Saying, for example, if let me open a program or a table. So they'll say like, okay, Z or Y should be the starting. Then some module name. Generally, what they'll do is now in old modules, it will be like PP, MM, like that. So here they'll say P2P or something, or whatever module they want. Suppose in recent ones, it is like the procure to payment. P2P they'll say, O2C they'll say for sales and distribution, order to cash, like that. So if they say SD, so if this description is like O2C, O2C underscore, then they can say you can give a generic name. Like this, we have the naming standards for objects, every object. So in the document, if you have only few objects, it's not a generic case actually. So for each and every object we create in SAP, there will be naming convention available in the document. Okay. So if I go back to my program, I'll just create one program. Coding standards. Just create it. Executable. Okay, if we start with when we come to the program, so every program will have a description. Why they have given this area is within comments. It is for the description. Okay, so like in my program, what is the logic? So they will start like, let me copy paste here. So it's a template actually. They will have a template like who is the developer and what is my object, who is the functional. So this is just a template. It's not mandatory. It will be project specific template. What is the transport we are using here, and a description of the program. So what this program does. So it will be something like this. Okay, and it will be added in the comments part. So here you can just add all these details. So they will give a template. Okay, this is how the template should look. Or you can just copy paste it and fill the values. Check if I have any templates. No. Okay. So here in program there are something called input program. Okay, I'm not sure whether we have discussed modularization techniques. Perform, I think we have discussed init form. Using parameters if you want to use or if you just want to init, it is completely based on your requirement. So we have 3 or 4 types of parameters here. Using in the sense inside this form you cannot further change it, you can just use it. Otherwise changing is one, like you want to change that value, then returning is not there in this. Yeah, only using as well as my changing will be there. So this is a modularization technique. Instead of writing 10-15 lines of code here, you can put all the code in the perform. So you should see like if you want to reuse that code again and again, you can put it in an include. Okay. So when you try to create a program from SC80, to ST18. Okay, I will give some program. I'll just give something random. I'll create. It does not exist, create object. So when I create, it will ask something for a top include. Okay, so field indicating whether top include must be created or not. Okay, what it does is, what is top include is, it's one particular include in my program which can hold all my data declarations. Okay, so this is coming by default. It will ask if you want the top include or not. So whatever name you give, there will be include created in my program. I'll just show an example there. I have already created some programs. So see, so I have to put some includes here. This is my top include. So this is by name you can give. So include for declarations. I have given the description. Okay. Then we have the select option, selection screen. That I have put it in separate include, so that my code looks very neat here. See, if you just want to even understand just by navigating, you can just see. In my top, I have all my declarations. See, my types I have declared. Then selection screen. So I just put in my selection screen logic here. Then my class, local class. So I have put all my logic in my class. See, all this, if you see in a single page, it will be very clumsy. That is the reason this includes we can use. See, if I put in this include, I can use the same in my other program as well. So declarations again and again you need not do. So in case I just want to use the declarations here, I can just activate it. See, it will take. So the purpose, suppose if it's a very small program, that's the reason it is okay. Suppose you have some 100, 150 lines of declaration, and you want, if you feel that yeah, that will be useful in my other program as well, I'll just use it. It is a include program, so this will be available in my other program as well. So it's like code reusability. So if you can just understand if my code is reusable only in my program level, only in my program, then you can use perform. That is my modularization technique. If you feel yeah, I can use it in multiple programs, then you can go to include. So I'll just list down what all we discussed. Naming convention. This is applicable for each and every object. So it's like it's a very big document it would be. Okay. Then maintaining program text. The program text is what we discussed this one. The above one. So this is also a template from my project. Okay, they'll follow some particular template or any existing code, you can just copy paste it. Okay, then modularization. So modularization is my local and my global. So if you want to modularize locally, you should be using perform and form. And if you have some import and export all parameters, we can use a function module. So if you see that conversion exists and all, they are function modules. Okay. Then include programs. If you feel that they can be used in different programs, you can put it in include programs. Okay. Then we will see in select statement what all we can do and what all we should not do. Select statements. Okay. Now I'll try to select some 5 fields from my Mara table. Okay. So some purposes like we have different ways of writing select statement. Let me see that. So I'll try to pick these 5 fields. Okay. Now select. Okay, so in select we have all these options, like you can either give number of fields you want or you can put select star. Okay, So at what time what we will use is select star means it will select all my 257 columns from a whatever columns available in my table, it will select. So if you now again two things as per coding standards. One, so if you need all my fields, okay, if you want to use all my fields in my program, then you can use it. Okay. Otherwise, if you suppose you want only maybe who created one or two fields, you can put it into a variable. So that syntax you already saw. So it will be like select maybe er name from Mara into the variable name should be in braces er name. Okay, like this you can give it. So if you want to select multiple values, you can just copy paste that multiple values what I copied. So now here now we'll have two cases. Either based on my key, I'll get a single value, or I'll get a multiple values. Okay. Now, if it is a single value, I can declare a structure. Okay. So structure holds only one record at a time. So that is the reason we can create a structure. Now my structure declarations may be local or global. Okay. So local in the sense I'll create it in my program level, in my top include, and global level is the SE11 one. SE11 is a global data dictionary. Okay, that is how we can do it in structures. Then if I have multiple records, I'll have to declare my internal table. The internal table is nothing but a local table which will hold temporary values. Internal table. So this one has a local type, local declaration, as well as global table type. So table type is in my S11 again. So you cannot declare a table, but table type we can declare it there. Okay, so if you come to data types, to try creating one, or if you use search, it will give an option of three: the data elements, structures, database tables, table types. This is what we are talking about. So tables type in turn has a structure. So if I just go randomly, see it has a line type. Means this is a structure. See, okay, structure of a table, that is fine. Even structures we can use. I will just show. I just created one. So I can use structure, which means my same my Excel representation. So if I show it in Excel, Excel is an internal table. If you just consider Excel as an internal table, you can declare the table type globally, or you can just keep it the line type. Line type means what is the structure of my columns. Suppose here if I say I have two fields, material number and material type. Okay. So this is called line type. So it is just was material type or my line type. So this will hold, if it is a structure, it will hold only one single value. If it's an internal table, it will hold multiple values. That is the basic difference between structure and the internal table. Okay, now coming to the standards, there are two types. Suppose I need only one record from this select. Okay, now what I can write it in two ways. One is select single. Okay, means it will select a single record. Suppose for example, I have material 1 and material type is UR, just like that. Okay, so what it will do is, because in where statement I'll give where my material number equal to 1. So if this is the syntax. Okay, so in case I have another same key with a different combination, suppose material UR US I have. So this see, generally what will happen, if my material number is a key field, it will have only one record. Okay, but if I have a secondary key field, this complete record is considered as a key. So one UR and one US is a two records it will consider. The same key and same key combination, multiple records will not be there in any table. Okay, Now what will happen? If I do a select single saying my material number is 1, this will get selected. Okay, because whatever comes first or whatever key field you are giving, that will come up if it is sorted on my second key. The other way what we can do is select from Mara, there is a syntax called up to 1 rows. This is one syntax available. So there is so generally what they will ask is what is the difference between these two. Select single and select up to 1 rows actually does the same, nothing different. Select single is select first the single record, and select up to 1 rows is also same. But here you will have to put end select because end select. Okay. So what it does is it will select single will directly pick this record. So when I give key 1, so if I give a specific field, it will pick only one record. Okay. If I give up to 1 row, what will happen is it will pick all the records with that particular key field. Suppose here I have given 1. Okay. So up to 1 row. So what it will take is it will take the number all the records with this material number 1. Okay. Then it will pick the first record. So in case if we say like if it is different sorted, suppose like this US UR, if we give the key field, okay, by MTRT and MAT both if we give, it will select one record only. But if we give only material number, sometimes what will happen like it will give this record based on that buffer, and it will sometimes give this record. That will not be consistent. So we can say like up to 1 record and uh, up to 1 row and select single. When we have to use, we should be very clear. So that is a very, I mean, they'll just ask this question for sure. If you have any doubts, you can discuss separately, no issues. Select single and select up to 1 rows. What is the difference? Okay. And some checks we'll have to do is, see, this is mandatory that after select statement, size sub RC should be checked. This is a coding standard, okay? It's not an, it's a mandatory step. In case if you don't do that, now you will get caught in the ATC check. So if size sub, you can either put size sub RC equal to 0 or not equal to 0 and handle it. Size sub RC, suppose if it is equal to 0, then you can go with the further logic, okay? Or you can like, if it's not equal to 0, you can write some messages, okay? So that is how we will have to do it. Now in selection, we have inner joins, okay? Suppose I want to get my material number and my material text, okay? Now two ways I can do that. So what I'll do is I need material number and material text. So two ways is one is inner join and another is for all entries. Let me tell you what is this for all entries, okay? So I am again writing the select statement from Mara. I'll remove this up to 1 row, okay? So I want up to, okay, 5 rows I'll take it. Up to 5 rows. Okay, now this will be into table because it is having multiple entries, MATNR. Okay. Now, first thing is we'll have to decide when we'll use inner join and when you will use for all entries. Yeah. So sorry. So if the requirement is like, suppose I have 5 materials in this selection. Okay. So for this 5 materials, we don't know whether all my 5 materials have description or not. Okay. So if you want to fetch out the records only which are having description, then you can go for inner join. So in inner join, what will happen? So I can from inner to as okay, this will not take from Mara as Mara. Okay, inner join. This is the syntax. Inner join MAKT as MAKT. Now we'll have to write the condition between what is this link between these two. We saw in the views, right? There should be a relationship between these two. Then what we can do is, what is the link? Okay, my Mara's on this syntax Mara matnr equal to makt matnr. Okay, what this will do is, it suppose I have in my selection I have given maybe 1 till 5. So I can multiple values how I can give is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have to give it in colons, single quotes. In. So now what it will do is, it will be called my 5 materials. Okay, so this is the expected behavior. But what will happen is, in case my material 4 and 5 does not have description, okay, in my internal table I will see only LTM material, I will see only the records which have a description. So that is the first case. That is for inner join. Now means for all entries, what will happen is, suppose I have 5 entries. Similarly, for the same 5 entries, you want to pick up the materials, but you want all these 5 materials in my internal table. So now what will happen? I'll remove this inner join. Okay. If I remove this inner join at this point of time, I'll have 5 records in my LTMATNR. Now, one very important check is, you'll have to see this is size sub RC, it is fine. But if you don't put size sub RC, you should always check when you are using my for all entries is, if this table is not initial, means if there doesn't have any entries in that, you don't do the selection, because if there is no entries, it will consider like it we are trying to select star. So if my MAKT is a small table with 100 or 200 entries, it is fine. Suppose it has some 1.5 lakh entries, it will pick all the 1.5 lakh entries, because we are not checking whether this condition is initial or not. Okay, so this is how you will get it. So this check is mandatory. I'll write down that. Okay. Check for initial using for all entries. Okay, this one we'll have to do. Now I can select star. So MAKT is a small table, so it is fine. From MAKT, okay, into LT MAKT. So now we want all the descriptions for the materials available in my matnr. So what we can do is, into, instead of where, we'll give one more syntax called for all entries in LT matnr. So this is the generic English syntax. So if you say for all entries in empty matnr, okay, how many ever records this matnr has, for those it will pick the description. Now the advantage of using for all entries is, suppose same case if you consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't have descriptions for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All my 5 entries will be still available in LATMR. I mean this table. So for in the further processing, if you want to use it in some other table also, you can use it. So that is the difference between inner join and for all entries. So we'll have to just think of the scenario or how the usage should be in the future. It will be available. Check for initial. So difference between between inner join and for all entries. So this is the difference, and you will have to pick it based on the requirement. So here coming for the syntax back, then where my MAKT has my material number MATNR equal to which field in this table will have to give. So if you give that hyphen, if you give hyphen MATNR, this is how it will accept. Sorry, NR. I haven't done any declaration, so it didn't come up. So you are telling the compiler like you select all the entries from all the fields from MAKT table for all the entries available in my material number, and what is the matching, that is key field. Normally what will give, if it is a direct value, will give direct value, otherwise if it's some select options, will give in and give the select option in. So in here we are giving the reference to this internal table. Okay, so now we have done the selection part. Now we'll see how we can access this selection. Okay, suppose you want to display this 5 materials. So we have two concepts called looping. So in looping, loop in a loop is not recommended. Instead, we'll have to write some other values. So what is loop in a loop? Suppose I loop at LT Mara assigning WA Mara, sorry, not assigning, into. Assigning means you will have to give a field symbol WA Mara. Then again, directly on my loop LT MAKT into WA MAKT. Okay, this kind of loop in a loop is not recommended. See why it is not recommended is, see if, suppose I have 5 materials in my Mara table, and I have 5 lines in my MAKT table. So now the number of executions will be 5 into 5, 25. So if you are very sure, okay, that you don't have any other option and the records will be very less, then you can go for this loop into loop. Otherwise what will happen when in real time cases, it will be like hundreds and thousands of records my materials, and same in my the other secondary table. So the number of executions will go very high, and these will be, the execution time will take more. Okay, so that is the reason this loop into loop is not recommended. And the next one is fields in select. Okay, so when I come to this fields in select, what it means is these fields. Okay, so these fields should be in the same order which is there in my table. So if it is single table or multiple tables, whatever it is, the order should be same, because when the system tries to access the fields, it will try to access in the same order. Suppose if you are giving in zigzag order, or if you are giving in the reverse order, then there will be an issue with the execution time. Okay, and second thing is, the same order which you are giving here should be there in your structure or table. If that is not possible, suppose you are using some standard structures and tables, and you feel that is not possible, there is one syntax called into corresponding fields of table. Means, suppose I have 6 fields I selected, I have internal table with 10 fields. So you want to map that one particular field to the other particular field. Okay, then there is a syntax called corresponding fields. Means, if it will pick with the field name, and it will search for the field name in my destination, then it will push the value. Now again, the performance problem will come here, because suppose this is 4 or 5 fields, that is fine. Suppose you had to give star. Now you assume 267 fields, and you have a structure with around 300 fields. So for each and every field, it has to search for a field. So it will be 267 into 300. See how many executions it has to do. So that will consume unnecessary time. So if I just randomly put, if we say 1 millisecond for one execution, so 267 into 300, so it unnecessarily it consumes around 80,000 milliseconds. But if you give the sequence properly, and if you feel it is not required corresponding, this 80,000 milliseconds will be gone. So that is how you will improve the performance of the program. Because reports are mostly dealing with my select statements only. So you select data, prepare in some format after doing some calculations like that, display output. This is the generic flow of a program. Sorry, a generic flow of a report. So sometimes what they will ask you update some tables or modify some tables. Update and modify are actually same. Modify some tables or send the report to my email ID. So that one we saw yesterday. So similarly, the reports will be available. Now coming back to the coding standards. So these are the things I think I haven't left anything in my select statement. And one more thing is in where clause, we'll try to, we should be trying to use all my key fields. Okay, so why I am telling that is, so here if I saw in my example, in my table I have two with the same key. So if you want, in first case we'll assume my material number is key. In that case what will happen, it will not allow the second entry because same key number. But in my material MTRT is key field, and if I am selecting with only one material, unnecessarily I am getting one more record. Okay, so what we should do is we should try to use all my key values available. So in material number, in my Mara table, only my material number is there. So that is the reason it's easy to identify. But if I go to some other table, suppose if I go to BUT 000, we'll see if it is having more than one key. No, business partner is only. Shall go to MAKT only. Sorry, table MAKT. So now if you see here material number and my SPRS language key. Okay. So if we consider this example, my material number can have descriptions in multiple languages, right? So what the 1,78,000 are there. So if I give him material number maybe 15, if it is there, it has only one. So if I give 20, let me see if I can get two entries. See. With the same material number, we have two entries, but my language key is different. So this is the reason I was telling you have to use complete key. Suppose if I give material number directly, because it is first is D. D means for German language. So if we take the same scenario, and in my select statement I gave only 20. I am not giving my language. So what will happen? It will pick both my entries, and if you are using the first entry, my description will be in German, which is the wrong scenario. So when you are logging into a system on English, okay, and if you get a German description, that is actually wrong. So here in language you can give E. Now you will get only one record. See, that is the reason I was telling you should be using maximum possible all the key fields in the select. So this will be a coding standard again. Fields in select, that is the sequence. Okay, then sorry, typo whether sequence. Okay, then all key fields in where condition. Okay, this is the one. So this is applicable for both my selection as well as a read. So the selection is for my database tables, and we have a read statement for local tables. So I have LT Mara. Read is one statement. Read table means read a local table. Like here, you can use this for local table. The syntaxes, different syntaxes available here are same. So let me show that. Read table, Means temporary inside your program, suppose in material number, again you want to compare with some other table, you can use this. Okay, so these are the return values 0, 2, 4 and 8. So this is syntax: read table with table key. Table key in the sense what is that key for that particular table. Okay, so while declaring we can either suppose in my material matner, this is on the global level. Okay, so material matner, sorry, Mara table, just show Mara is on global table. So here what happened is it has only one key field. So what will happen, in suppose in case in program you want to add some other key, you can declare an internal table maybe with material type as another key field. So here you can use those key fields. So here is the declaration using key. Key means that whatever key field you are giving, or with table key. Particular table key you can declare and give it. So here in my Mara it will be like, here you can see field symbol, read table from which internal table. Okay, assigning field symbol. This is one way, and you can give it using even the into work area, or if you want to just check for the values available or not, we have another variant called transporting no field. So into, if I say with table key, the database table key will be using here, or with key means you can give a key field value any random value. Suppose here I want VPSTA, which will take, okay, equal to some value 0992. See, similarly as in select, we'll have to give a destination. Okay, like into work area, then assigning field symbol, or if you feel like, okay, I just want to check whether this entry is there or not, okay, then I can just give transporting no fields. I don't want to put into any other variable, just I want to see whether this this value is available or not. Okay, so that is how we can use it. Read table. So in this read table, what coding standards we'll have to follow is, so in read table, this check should happen. Check for what is that, this select. So after select statement, size sub RC check. Similarly, size sub RC check should be there for every read statement. Okay. Then if you don't want to use that NC, any variable you declare in my program and you don't use it, it will be caught in my ATC. Okay. So if you don't want to use any variable, or you don't want to push this value into any other variable, transporting no field should be used. Transporting no fields. Okay. This should be used for sure. Otherwise, it will be get caught in my this one ATC. Then text and constant values. This is one thing we have to take care. 14 is program text, and 15 is constant values. Okay, these two things we'll have to check. Okay, program texts are nothing but any text we are hard coded. See, it will say values are hard coded and program text. These two we will be hearing it very frequently. I'll tell you what is a hard coding and a program text. Both we will see. Suppose in my previous program, I just showed one text on my selection screen. Okay, this one, if I go, see, selection screen. So this is my frame text. Okay, so here what I have did is I have properly put it into a text. So what is hard coding is, or local text is, instead of giving this text, I give this value in a single quote. Okay, if I give this, they say it is a hard coded value, either if it's a text or a constant. Both the notation is same. So why we have to give this text a translation? I mean standard text is, whatever is available. Suppose you are running it in this system English. Suppose you are using it in the German system, this will come in English only still if you are giving it as a hardcode text. Now what I'll do is we can create it in two different ways. Okay, either go to text elements, text symbols. Okay, you can give the text here and give the text number here, or directly create this. Suppose I am trying to see text selection, stock value selection, sample. I'll just give. Okay, you can just double click on this. If it is not available, ask to create. So now the 002 has been created. So I'll just save and activate. So whether to understand whether it has a text element or not, two ways we can see it. One is if it is used using this syntax, text hyphen, that means the local program text is available, or against my text you will see this number. So seeing this number or using this is same, nothing different. So this number I can just remove as hyphen 002. This will navigate to my text. Okay. Okay. So this is how we can create text. So on constants, constant. Let me see if I am using it. Okay. So let me take an example of constant. Now, so if I give here, see, read table with VPSTA 09. 09 means we are not taking it from any variable. We are just hard coding it. This is something called hard coded value. Hard coded. Okay, so this will have an impact in two ways. One is on my ATC check, so that this will be caught as, but this is a hard coded value you are not supposed to use. What generally they will use, they'll give constants value. The syntax is constant. LC is my constant naming convention. VPSTA. Generally they'll give what is the value also. So we should know, right? Suppose if I simply give VPSTA, we will not understand what is this value about. So I'll just give it 09. Type, what type it is, and value. Now value is 09 here. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Now if I go to my just see. So that's fine. Okay. So I can just use this value here instead of that value. So now if you see, even if you read it, we can clearly understand this is a local constant. Okay. VPSTA is my constant variable and my 09 is value. So this is very easily understandable. So sometimes what they will do, we can use it on my program level. Suppose you feel like, yeah, this VPSTA will be, I want to use it across the programs, then you can create a global constant. Okay, so global constant should not be in the program. So there is some interfaces they will be using, SC24 interfaces. There they will declare as a constant. Suppose I have some GCL abstract class. Okay, now I will have some things called attributes. Okay, so here I can just declare it as a constant value because initial value we have it. So I can just declare a GC VPSTA 09. Then I can give the level as public, sorry, static, because it should be available. Sorry, it's a constant, right? So constant visibility will be public. Okay, then associated type is VPSTA and value is 09. So in some projects, what they will do is they will have a separate constant class, like a put it as interface. You can just include that. Okay, when it is a constant and a public, you can always use it from any code. Okay, so what we can do is we'll just use this. Okay. So this one they can just use it. So this syntax would be like how you access the normal parameters, same thing you can use it by the hyphen, sorry, is equal to this parameter name. Or sometimes what they'll do, they'll put it into a global table, or sorry, global include, something like that. Okay, so this is on my constants. So local constants and global constants both we can use. So some they will actually put it in some interfaces and they'll use it. So this is on my program text and constant values. Let me see if I have missed anything. I guess. I'll just check if I have missed anything. So this is all I remember in my program level. So this will be applicable on my classes as well as, see, all my naming conventions, everything will be applicable on my classes, function modules, smart forms, anything. Naming convention should be followed in each and every object you develop custom. Okay, then I think this is it. Let me just recollect if there is something else we can discuss. Select statement, looping case. Most probably I have covered all actually. So if I see anything else is missing, we will try to get that. I will just put ATC. Everything is configured actually. Okay, let me check in my customer systems and see if there is any other things configured. Okay, so you can run, you yourself can run this code. ATC checks all this from SCAT, or let me show how we can do that. Program check. Here the syntax check is a local check. Okay, then extended program check, code inspector are like there will be different things we to check here, like how you have used your text literals, all this what I discussed here will come up. So first you can do a extended program check. Okay, then code inspector, so that is link check, SLIN transaction same. So in SLIN transaction, let me show that. Oh, SLIN, I think SLIN I have put it inside the code. SLIN, no. Okay, let me put that in SLIN, okay, that is extended syntax check. So if you want to check all this now, you can just see perform call interfaces, call function, check load tables, then GUI state. So all this you can check. So if I run anything now, so this is, let me see if I have anything, programming guidelines, off-list, I'll just check everything. I'll just run it. We'll see if it's giving and see if there's one error. What is that? Is inactive, contains inactive, okay. It is not activated. So if it has any errors, it will show errors, warnings, and normal messages. Okay, so it's like it will give up. So if you just double click on that, you will navigate to that error. Okay, so you can just see if you are having any errors. So if you, before going to any code review or giving it to functional, if we do it by ourselves now, we will be able to rectify at least 50 to 60% of my errors. So if there is a code review process, okay, they will review the code what you have written and will suggest, okay, do like this, do like that, don't do this, don't do that, like that they'll give. Okay, that is purely dependent on what coding standards they follow. It has nothing to do with the generic one. Sometimes they'll say just to um, give some comments, they'll give, okay, put some proper comments here, put the text here, where is the comments? All sort of questions they'll ask. So based on all these checks, you will understand, okay, what I have missed something. Okay, so once you run the check for this program, you will be able to understand my coding standards for this. Okay, let me check if I have anything on my programs. I think that should be enough. That's it for today. Okay, so tomorrow, tomorrow, right? Next 3 days, I'll keep it open for discussion. So if you need any specific things to be discussed again or any topics you want to discuss, you can let me know. If anyone has any topics, then I'll open this call. Otherwise, I'll just wait for your questions and doubts. Okay, so this would be my uh, last official class. Maybe the next 3 days, it's purely based on your requirements, like any questions, topics, additional topics. We'll discuss. We'll keep 3 days buffer for that. Aditya, you were asking something yesterday. I just forgot. What was that?
No, actually, I was asking about that key field thing, that about that joining thing, about the two tables. Like, okay, for all entries that you today you said, like for today you have told like for the two tables you have to get it from the key fields from all the two tables. So, like while joining, we will be getting it from all the tables so for all entries, or we can have any
No, no.
other
When
uses.
it is either
Uh,
or.
uh,
If you want to use inner
uh,
join, don't use for all
mhm.
entries. And if you want to use for all entries, don't use inner join. It's either one at a time.
Okay, okay, okay.
So both
Yeah,
combined,
I
I
have.
haven't seen any practical usage till now. So it will be either for all entries or inner join. So that is how I just said, right? So based on how many entries you want to pick. So based on the
Mhm.
exact report or whatever scenario, you can decide whether I should go to inner join, I should go to for all entries. That's exactly
Yeah,
based.
actually,
Yeah,
yeah,
that is
actually, I
scenario
have
based.
some doubt regarding the for all interest. I'll get back to you. Okay,
Fine, fine, no
once
problem.
I practice. Yeah,
Sure,
once I
sure. Yeah, yeah.
practice
You
it,
can, you can,
and
you
I
can. No
can
problem.
surely get back to you.
Fine,
Okay,
fine. Anything from Charan, Rajendra? Anything else?
yeah,
Nothing
that's
at the moment.
Okay.
I'll come back to you.
And you
While
got that roles and
practicing,
responsibilities, Rajendra? I just sent it
no,
yesterday. No. Okay,
no, I have not got. I have
then I
not got.
have missed the mail. Okay, I'll send it again. It's ready actually. I'll just send after this meeting. Okay. The thing
Okay,
is,
okay,
immediately at 10 o'clock, I have another meeting, so I may have forgotten. It's
okay,
okay. You
okay.
just
Then,
remind me around 11 o'clock if you not get it. I'll send it.
then I'll text you.
Uh-huh.
Raj, actually, we have missed the previous week. I guess we have missed the
No, WebD Intro
3 days.
part,
I
it
guess.
hasn't come up because the system, it's
That's
not
okay.
allowing.
That's
So
okay.
WebD Intro part,
That's
whenever
okay.
I get a system access, I'll just record and put those things. That is missing. Yes, only
I
one day we had discussed. That's three
okay,
days
okay,
now.
okay.
The system is not available. It is still showing me that error. See,
That's
I
okay, okay.
tried even today morning.
And 2 days ago we have received I received the mail like training day 11
Yeah,
actually.
11 was that
So
enhancements where I forgot to record the session completely.
that's okay,
So
okay,
that
okay.
is the
That's
reason
okay,
I
okay.
just put it
That's
and
okay. Okay.
sent it back.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
that one
Okay.
we discussed the class, but I didn't record. I completely
Yeah,
forgot to
okay.
record. So that one I
Okay, okay,
re-recorded
okay.
and sent it.
Even the
Okay, okay.
WebDin Pro last
Yeah,
class,
you said it is the
the
audio is not visible. Anyways, WebIntro
audio
I'll
is
cover
not okay.
separately.
Okay,
I'll WebIntro separately I'll cover because system. See, my client systems I have. Okay,
okay,
so I'm behind that basis people to give me a system where WebIntro works. Okay, if they're not
okay,
responding, I'll test. I'll record everything from my client system this weekend and I'll put it across. If possible tomorrow because tomorrow is a holiday.
okay.
So complete WebIntro examples I'll put it. I'll take it from my system and I'll put it.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. Charan, anything from you?
No, I'll let you know
Fine.
if
Okay then.
anything.
Okay then. Take care. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.